Today, I'm not going to talk to you about the electric car world, or in fact, the clean energy world. Nor are we talking about the latest thing that Elon Musk said or did, or the ongoing Chevrolet Bolt EV battery thing. Nor am I going to talk about the truly awesome first drive report we've got planned for next week. It comes off embargo on Tuesday if you're interested, or about us going to Lucid on Monday to see the Lucid Air firsthand. Or, in fact, the first drive event we're going to in 2 weeks, or the week-long loaner of not one but two very fun vehicles that we're going to be filming. No, today is a behind-the-scenes video, so... Oh, right, yes, behind the scenes. One moment. There you are, behind the scenes. Literally. Welcome to my spare bedroom, the thing that saved the channel during COVID, but the thing that also causes us so very many headaches. So today we need to chat about video production, our process, and our need to expand. This week, Winter was in a very awesome first drive report behind the wheel of the Volkswagen ID.4 all-wheel drive. He filmed it last week in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and we edited it up and pushed it midweek. And as some of you noted, we, and I mean I, managed to screw up the editing to make it look like he was driving in the UK instead of North America. Yeah, I fixed that. I'm sorry. Some of you were a little frustrated by the length of the video, and some of you were frustrated by the content. Why didn't we film outside the car much, you asked? Why didn't we do more with the specs and pricing? And why was it just about our impressions? I'm going to come to all of that in a moment, but first let's talk about the matter at hand. Making videos, running a YouTube channel, and making money so we can continue to do so is hard. Because, you know, unlike some channels out there, we're not in it for the Benjamins. Making videos is easy. Making good videos is hard. And making 15 videos a week? Well, most weeks I could do with the help of a time-traveling border collie with a steam-powered airship to double up the number of hours in every day. Sorry, my inside joke if you happen to follow my fluffy alter ego. I'm digressing, but it is time for another TE channel update, which, in keeping with our channel transparency, means I want to share with everyone who watches. First up, you'll know that we've been expanding a lot in the last year. We've expanded our in-depth videos, and we've expanded the number of people working on our team. At the start of the year, it was just me and Erin working full-time, with Kelt Walton-Elliott lending a hand for a few hours here and there when she could. And a part-time scriptwriter, Morgan, helping out with some shorter scripts. Thanks to some third-party work, which was nothing to do with the main channel, we were able to afford to hire some new team members, Winter and Kit. They both applied for the role of part-time social media manager, although, as you might have noticed, Winter never actually ended up doing the job he was interviewed to do because he was just too good at being in front of the camera. Since then, we've sadly parted ways with both Morgan and Kit. Morgan is focusing on his engineering education, and Kit is now training to become a yoga instructor, which is totally awesome, exciting news. And with both of those team members moving on, we have been able to increase Winter's hours. He's basically almost full-time now. The amount of stuff we're doing is also increasing. Right now, we're a 4-person team, with myself and Erin working full-time. Erin does all of the animations and thumbnails and art, as well as work with third-party companies that we don't cover. More on that in a moment, while Winter works almost full-time and Kate works 2 to 3 days a week. Thanks to the awesome support we're able to get from patrons, I'm able to ensure our core team gets paid and there's enough spare cash to help us get to some events that we wouldn't otherwise visit, and usually to give me a bit of a small salary too. But we are pegged at full capacity, and we're being asked to go out and do more car reviews and more drives and first-hand experiences, which, to be frank, is what I think some of you would love us to do more of. We've got a lot more content that we want to produce, but we're just a 3 full-time equivalent team producing 15 videos a week. We need to expand. You might not know this, but right now, Winter, Kate, and I tend to write, film, and edit our own videos. I do the majority of the excess editing and pretty much all of the audio processing because, as a once-upon-a-time professional musician, I know my way around audio. And because I'm a fast video editor, it is sometimes quicker for me to edit than it is anyone else on the team. I've helped Winter edit some of his excellent videos, for example, just to help get them out the door. Meanwhile, Winter does all of the colouring, pretty much, because I can't tell the difference between a grade and a gradient. To date, we've focused on making studio videos because they're easier to make, they require fewer hours of script editing, and an hour or so in the studio, and then a couple of hours pushing stuff out the door. And frankly, we don't see our studio videos going away because we love making them, and I think we're one of the few channels out there that's willing to sit back and dissect things before covering them. But then, I'm biased. All jokes aside though, some of the videos from Kate of late, videos that you've all been watching, have taken many days of research. And in case you're wondering about 10, while Winter does usually help me write the shorts, we source the stories as a team and Kate does wicked copy editing. I'm usually the only one responsible, though, for the main story, scripts, filming, audio editing, and video editing. It means getting up at 6 a.m. on a Friday and going to bed at gone midnight on a Saturday morning. Why? Because right now we don't have a video editor. Everyone on the team is their own video editor, and I can edit 10 faster than anyone else can. Today is a Friday. I was up at 5 a.m. and I will be surprised if I'm not at my desk at 1 a.m. because we're going on a few trips in the coming weeks and we need to preload content. It has been great getting more people on board, but we have hit a kind of major roadblock. We can't keep up with content we've been making. We physically cannot edit it and get it out the door quickly enough. We need to expand. Specifically, we need a full-time videographer and video editor. We know who we want to employ. He is a part-timer with us already, and he has been responsible for some of the video work in our most recent videos, like the Volkswagen ID4 review from earlier this year, not the short that Winter just made, and the recent Volvo XC90 T8 review, the one with the beautiful peacock in it. And in fact, if you've seen some of the Tesla Model 3 video content that we've made, that's him too. Basically all the really good-looking videos, he's played a part in. Now, some of you will say, but he could do it for free, or you could get someone to do it as an intern. And yes, we could, maybe. But you can't run a channel like this on someone working in the evenings for fun, and US employment law is very strict about what an intern can and cannot do, and how they must be remunerated for it. You can get yourself in a lot of trouble if you don't play by the rules. Now, some of you will say, well, that's easy. Just hire someone online to make the videos look pretty. And for some content creators, that's easy because of the limited amount of B-roll they use. Editing a video that's self-contained is pretty easy through the internet. But when you're editing a video on a topic that uses B-roll from automakers that's no longer publicly accessible, and you need to turn around that video in a day or two, waiting to ship that drive around the world just isn't easy, feasible, or possible. And no, we can't use cloud-based storage systems because our video library is massive. We're talking hundreds of terabytes. And then there's the problem of finding a video editor who actually knows cars. If you watch mainstream news or even some other channels, you'll often notice that the B-roll being used isn't specific to the car being talked about, but it is in fact more generic stuff, and that's often because the person editing the video doesn't know any better. But the person we have in mind for this role, they are a car person, a car enthusiast, and frankly, a fantastic videographer and storyteller. Additionally, I, personally, as the founder of TE, want the channel to support local talent and pay a living wage for that talent. I don't want to be part of the brain drain paying people overseas to make content. Which brings us to the problem. We have more than enough video work for a full-time videographer to become a video editor. We know who we want to hire. We just need to figure out how to fund it. Which brings me to the point of money. Right now, we get the majority of our funds from our amazing Patreon supporters, as well as ad revenue from Google or YouTube, a white label contract with a company in New Zealand who gets to publish our stuff tweaked for their audience, and some occasional third-party video production and consulting work, which sometimes takes Erin away from day-to-day video stuff, but actually helps us afford a lot of the stuff we do. We do very little in the way of product placements or sponsorships, and that's different to most other channels out there. Without naming and shaming or pointing fingers, a large number of folks in the EV YouTube world make the majority of their money from sponsored content, advertorials and features and tie-ins with automakers and associated companies. They get paid to make content about a particular company, and that sometimes means that the reviews they make at a later date aren't quite as unbiased as you'd maybe expect them to be. It's something I and other folks at the channel have noticed at recent press drives and events. Now, we're not passing judgment on that method of making money. Business is business, and if it works for other channels, that's fantastic. But it doesn't work for us because we really do try and not have any position on any company that we cover. We want to be able to drive a vehicle and report on a company without feeling that we owe them a favor because 6 months earlier we did a sponsored tie-in with them. And we want to do that because our goal isn't to make money and to make a popular channel, but rather to give you all the information you need to make informed choices about your next cleaner, greener, safer, smarter vehicle. Sometimes that means we don't get invited to events because sometimes automakers only invite folk they know will be positive about a product because of a pre-existing relationship. But we're okay with that too. There's frankly more than one way to cover a product. Which brings me to a little diversion. First drive events. As a reminder, if we're invited to a press launch or a first drive event, the automaker in question usually provides some form of airfare or lodging as part of the event, something we note in our credits. But when it's a smaller event or a feature that we're asked to do, we have to cover it out of pocket. And if we want more than one person to attend, we usually have to pay for that extra person's ticket as well, as the channel is doing next week when Winter and I are both heading to Arizona to film with Lucid. First drive events are quick. You don't get more than a couple of hours with a vehicle rather than the week or more that we usually get to film with a vehicle. You get minimal filming opportunities, and in the case of Winter's drive with the ID4, that was done literally with 2 cameras and a lav mic. But anyway, I'm digressing, and if you want to know more about that, follow the link here. Anyway, back to the matter at hand. Because we don't accept sponsorships from companies we cover, and we only do tie-ins and sponsorships with companies whose products we actually know, use, and trust, like the Energy Sage tie-in with us through an affiliate deal, we are at a financial disadvantage. We're running the channel far more leanly than most EV channels out there, and we are all overworking. And I think you see what happens when we do. We make small editing mistakes, or rather, I make small editing mistakes, and we don't get to spend as much time researching and writing the in-depth videos we'd like to do. Handing off daily video production to someone else is essential to our growth, as is finding eventually a studio where everyone can be under the same roof, not just at my house. But that takes money, and chicken and egg, we need your help. Yes, we could carry on doing a lot of the video production we do ourselves, but specifically, I'm running out of hours in the day and the team are already hammered on workload. Additionally, there's a lot of stuff that goes into making a business. Boring stuff like admin, taxes and the like. Not to mention all of those meetings that you end up having with your teammates to make sure that they're okay and have everything they need to make the stuff awesome. Some days, in fact most days, I don't even get to sit down and write any scripts before 3 p.m, and that's why sometimes the daily video doesn't get out until late o'clock. In a normal week, when we are in Portland, we get a lot done at our respective desks in our respective homes, but when we are away, there's a whole lot more extra work to be put in. Everyone ends up lifting more, and because I don't believe in asking my team to do stuff for free, it puts a strain on the team. And in the last couple of months, we've thankfully been getting more and more invites to events, which is both awesome because we get to do more cool things away from the studio, and scary because we end up doing even more work to get ready for when we're away. And that leaves us with this dilemma. Right now, we are muddling through, doing the things we can to keep things relevant and fun and interesting. And we found that for whatever reason, the almighty YouTube really dings us up when we skip a day of content. And we don't know why. Other channels, more mainstream ones with huge budgets, may do a video once a week and be fine, but YouTube doesn't actually let us do that. And I don't know why. And to make it worse, YouTube has started promoting newer channels who seem to do little to none journalistic investigation, but spend most of their time telling the world how every automaker is doomed and only Tesla and a few others will rise victorious. But because they feed confirmation bias in their audience, they are doing great. They make 1 week a video and they have the eyeballs. But we don't want to be super controversial, and 1 video a week wasn't ever what we wanted. Our goal is to cover the world of cleaner, greener, safer and smarter transportation, a little bit like Linus Tech Tips covers the tech world. I want TE to be more than just me, to be a group of smart, amazing, diverse people who each bring something new to the table. And I think that with Winter and Kate now on the team, we're getting to that point. Like Linus and LTT, I want TE to exist long after I have stopped existing. Yet, unlike LTT, who has 40 plus staff now, we have 4. And we're making 15 videos a week, which is where you come in and how you can help. We're considering holding a week-long fundraiser, a little like PBS does, to help raise the funds we need to expand our team. And we want to know if that's something you'd welcome or if that's something you'd be angered by. We also are considering setting up some ways of letting you contact and use our knowledge, like consultations where you can talk to one of the team about your next EV purchase for a fee. Again, let us know if that's something that you would like us to do or not. We've also been toying with the idea of letting individual people, not companies, individuals, sponsor specific videos. Perhaps you'd be interested in sponsoring a single video on a particular topic that we haven't made yet. Or maybe you'd like to help us cover travel to an event in exchange for a sponsor shout-out on a particular video. As long as you are not connected with the company we cover, we're open to it. We also need to know what your opinions are on tie-ins. We've talked before about potential tie-ins and sponsorship deals, but many viewers acted negatively when we talked about doing more sponsorship posts. And since we don't want to advertise games we know that you know we don't play, or products we feel would make the world a worse place environmentally, like all of those meal kits, we need to know from you who you would like us to partner with. Finally, we want to know if you would support a Kickstarter to help us kickstart ourselves to the next phase. Or perhaps you'd be interested in getting some equity in TE. We're not sure, honestly, how we feel about that as a team at the moment because we've kept our independence. But right now, as what we think is one of the largest automotive EV-focused YouTube channels who doesn't have tie-ins with automakers or sponsorship deals or kickbacks from them, we're really eager to keep true to our community focus and our community roots without sacrificing our integrity for dollars. We've even discussed the possibility of becoming a benefit corporation. I mean, is that something you'd be interested in us doing? Let us know below. If you've got this far through the video, thank you. I know a lot of people don't like seeing how the metaphorical sausage is made or believe that it's none of their business. Some feel like videos like this are just us begging, or that we just need to STFU and make videos on our mobile phones like insert name of YouTuber here. But what most of you don't know is that pretty much all of the YouTubers in this space, the majority for sure, even if they appear to be a one-person outfit, they have tons of folk helping in the background with art, with animation, with video editing, with marketing, et al. We just chose to be really transparent about how we run our business. So there you have it. We can continue to produce video content every day, which is, to be frank, how we've got to this point. And we could produce less. because we're going to if we're making all of these trips, but then our income drops. But at the same time, we also need to expand and fund that expansion. We know who we want to join the team to reduce the editing stress. We just have to figure out how we can afford them. Now, that's it for today. If you did like the video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel and our other two channels, Transport Evolved Take 2 and Transport Evolved Shorts. We know that while a fair few of you are already subscribed, most of you aren't. So go on, subscribe, hit the bell, and help us out. Let us know below what you thought of the video. And if you don't like the YouTube comments section, then please do take it to our Discord chat room. It is free, and we will leave the link below. Thanks on behalf of the entire TE crew go out to the folks on my right for being our $15 to $49 a month Patreon supporters. Special thanks to our $50 a month patrons. That's David Janikula, Andrew Martin, Guido Drahoa, Brophy Wolf, Tazlet in the Gong, Paul Conway, Sean Ueda, Gordon C, Regine Fellows, Anonymous Freak, Jim Burness, Carl Hodgson, Anthony Coates, Laura Sanborn, Rory Litwin, and Denny Hyde. And our deepest gratitude to our $100 a month Patreon supporters, John Lyons, Marcel Ward, Reggie Watts, JP Fagerback, Christopher Jones, Will Graylin, Ellery Hennesley, and Ian. If you would like to join the ranks of wonderful supporters, there are links below to Patreon, Bitcoin, and Ko-fi. And of course, you can buy your very own TE swag at our Redbubble store. Thanks for joining me, and as always, thanks for watching. Keep evolving!